Claude Code is one of the best AI coding agents out there, but a typical day costs you $1 to $3 in API tokens. Pro is $20 a month, Max up to $200. Here's the thing, you don't have to pay any of that. So we tested every free method we could find. 7 of them actually work. Some give you real Claude models, some use alternatives. One runs entirely on your own machine. No internet, no API keys, no cost, ever. Let's go through all of them. Now, first thing to understand, Claude Code itself is free. You install it with one npm command. The tool is just a terminal interface. What actually costs money is the AI model running behind it. Anthropic's Sonnet 4.6. That's where the tokens add up. But here's what most people don't realize. Claude Code doesn't require Anthropic's own API. It can talk to any provider that speaks the same format. OpenRouter, Ollama, AWS, Google Cloud. That's the loophole. And that's what makes all 7 methods possible. Method 1, the fastest path. Sign up for an Anthropic account and you get about $5 in free API credits. No credit card. That's enough for a few hours of real coding with the actual Claude model. You sign up at console.anthropic.com, grab an API key, set one environment variable, and you're coding. Literally 5 minutes. The catch? That $5 burns fast, maybe 2 or 3 sessions. After that, you're paying out of pocket. But it's the only free method that gives you genuine Claude intelligence. Method 2. And honestly, this is the one we'd recommend for most people. OpenRouter. It's a model router that gives you access to dozens of AI models through a single API. Several of them are completely free. Setup takes 5 minutes. Sign up at openrouter.ai, grab a key, set 3 environment variables, and you're in. You're pointing Claude Code at OpenRouter instead of Anthropic. Pick a free model. Llama 3.370B is the go-to, and you're coding. 0 cost, no time limit. So which free model should you pick? Llama 3.370B handles most coding tasks really well. DeepSeek R1 is great for complex reasoning. Gemma 3.27B for quick edits. Qwen 3.8B if you want something lightweight. None of them are Sonnet 4.6, but for day-to-day work, totally solid. Now the trade-off. Free tiers come with rate limits, a few requests per minute, daily caps. And for complex multi-file refactoring across a huge codebase, you'll feel the gap compared to real Claude. But honestly, drop $5 into your OpenRouter account and those limits disappear. Best $5 you'll spend. Method 3 is for the privacy crowd. Ollama. Everything runs on your hardware. No internet required after you download the model. No rate limits. No API costs. Ever. Your code never leaves your machine, but hardware matters. A lot. With 8 gigs of RAM, you're running tiny models. Slow, but it works for small edits. 16 gigs is the sweet spot. Qwen 2.5 Coda 14B gives surprisingly good results. And if you've got 32 gigs on Apple Silicon, you're running models that genuinely rival cloud APIs. 2 to 5 second responses. Setup is dead simple. Install Ollama, pull a coding model, Qwen 2.5 Coda 14B is our pick, then point Claude Code at localhost. One environment variable. That's it. You're running a fully offline AI coding agent. For orchestrating changes across 50 files, it'll struggle. For focused edits and small projects, excellent. Method 4. AWS Bedrock. This one's for developers already in the Amazon ecosystem. Bedrock hosts Anthropic's actual Claude models. New AWS accounts get promotional credits that work here, and the setup wizard they shipped in April 2026 makes this way less painful than it used to be.
You create an AWS account, request Claude access in Bedrock, configure your credentials, and set one flag. Bull. Claude Code. Use Bedrock =1. Done. Real Claude. Free until your credits run out. But fair warning, I'll key quote. The AWS setup is more complex. IAM roles, region selection, model access requests. Worth it if you're already on AWS. Not worth the hassle otherwise.
Method 5. Google Vertex AI. And this is by far the most generous free tier on this entire list. Every new Google Cloud account gets $300 in free trial credits. $300. That's potentially weeks of heavy Claude Code usage.
Setups similar to Bedrock. Create a Google Cloud account, enable the Vertex AI API, authenticate with the G-Cloud CLI, and set Claude Code, use Vertex equals 1. You're running real Claude AI. Anthropic's actual models hosted on Google's infrastructure. The credits expire after about 90 days though, so use them or lose them.
Method 6 is for students. If you've got a valid school email, GitHub's Student Developer Pack now includes Claude Pro. That's $20 a month of value. Free. With full Claude Code access using Anthropic's actual models. Apply at education.github.com/pack with your school email. Approval takes 1 to 7 business days. And this isn't some watered-down version, it's full Pro. Same models, same limits that paying subscribers get. It lasts as long as you're enrolled. Graduate? Access goes away. But while you're in school? No-brainer. And Method 7. This is the big one. Anthropic's Claude for Open Source program. If you maintain a popular open source project, they'll give you 6 months of Claude Max 20x. That's the $200 a month tier. Totally free. Roughly $1,200 in value. The bar is high though. You need to be a core maintainer of a project with 5,000 or more GitHub stars, or 1 million plus NPM downloads. Active commits in the last 3 months. Deadline is June 30th, 2026. Most developers won't qualify. But if you do, stop watching this video and go apply right now. Okay, so that's all 7 methods. But which one should you actually pick? Let's put them side by side and make this easy. API credits. Real Claude, but only a few hours. OpenRouter. Free forever, alternative models, super easy setup. Ollama. Free forever, runs locally, needs decent hardware. AWS Bedrock and Google Vertex. Real Claude on cloud credits, but harder to set up. GitHub Student. Real Pro access, easy, just need a school email. And the open source program, the absolute best deal if you qualify. Here's how I'd think about it. Just want to try Claude Code? Method 1. 5 minutes, real Claude, 0 commitment. Need it for ongoing daily use? OpenRouter. Llama 3.3 70B handles most coding tasks and it's free forever. Privacy is your top priority? Ollama, but you'll need at least 16 gigs of RAM. Want real Claude for free, temporarily? Google Vertex. $300 is incredibly generous. Student? GitHub Education Pack, no question. Maintain a popular open source project? Method 7. Apply before June 30th. And if none of these fit? Honestly, Pro at $20 a month is less than $1 a day for a tool that saves you hours. The ROI isn't even close. And here's a pro tip most guides won't tell you. You can combine methods. Use OpenRouter with Llama 3.3 for your day-to-day coding. Then switch to your real Anthropic API credits when you hit a genuinely complex task, something that needs Claude's full intelligence. The environment variables swap in seconds. Best of both worlds. So the optimal stack for most developers? OpenRouter as your daily driver. Free, solid, no hassle. Anthropic credits in your back pocket for when things get complicated. And if you've got the hardware, throw Ollama in the mix as your offline backup. 3 methods, 0 monthly cost. Quick rapid fire on the most common questions. Is Claude Code actually free? The tool, yes. The AI model behind it, no. Not unless you use one of these 7 methods. Cheapest long-term option? OpenRouter with free models. Unlimited? Done. Does the GitHub Student Pack include Claude Code? Yes. Full pro access, same as paying subscribers. Can you use Ollama locally? Also yes. Anthropic API compatibility is built in now. Just point Claude Code at localhost. You need 16 gigs of RAM minimum for decent performance though. How much do tokens actually cost? Sonnet 4.6 runs $3 per million input tokens, $15 per million output. Typical session burns 50 to 150,000 tokens. That's $1 to $3 a day. And the best free alternatives? Llama 3.3 70B on OpenRouter, DeepSeek R1 for reasoning, Qwen 2.5 Coda 14B for local use. By the way, if you want to get really good with Claude Code, we've got a power user kit in our store. Advanced skills, configurations, workflow blueprints, links in the description. It's how we've built our own setup, and it will save you a ton of trial and error. So to wrap it up, start with method 1. Experience real Claude, see what it can do. Then switch to method 2, OpenRouter, for ongoing daily use. And if you've got decent hardware, method 3 gives you the ultimate setup. Unlimited, private, completely independent from any cloud service. The barrier to entry has never been lower.